Hello, my name is Trevor Coons. Today I will be presenting on how we can use Cursor as our AI study companion. The scope of today's presentation will discuss what Cursor is, how we can use it as a learning companion, a demonstration of this principle, and then we'll discuss a few things that you should be aware of as you use Cursor. We'll first discuss what Cursor is. I thought that the best way to figure out what Cursor is would be to go directly to Cursor and ask it, Cursor, what are you? This is how Cursor described itself. Cursor is a modern AI-powered IDE that makes coding more efficient and intuitive. It combines the power of traditional code editors with advanced AI capabilities to help you write, debug, and understand code better. These are direct words from Cursor, not my words here. If I were to describe Cursor in my own words, essentially we took your LLM, so think of your favorite LLM like ChatGPT, then we took your code development environment, and then we married the two of those together, and then we add an agent that gives it a little bit more power to be able to access the computer to integrate and tie everything together. We interact with Cursor through the use of its AI agents. This is done via the chat window. Much like communicating with a classic LLM, think of ChatGPT, we put in our command of what we want it to do, and then this command will be run through the agent. The agent can help us do things such as create files, generate code, debug the code that we're looking at when our code execution has issues, and it also has access to access our command terminal. When it is using the command terminal, it can perform tasks such as saving files, locating files, ensuring that we have the correct packages installed, as well as pushing our files into GitHub for version control. I have found that Cursor's AI agent is a very patient and willing tutor to be able to help partner with you in your learning and development. Its AI agent can help prepare curriculum for us. It can develop code books and code examples for us. It can provide synthetic data tailored to your specific needs or access a data set within its training data to be able to help demonstrate these principles, as well as show you some case studies to give you some real-life examples to further reinforce your learning. As we get started working with Cursor, I'd like to call your attention to the top right-hand corner up here. This is the first place I would recommend going. This is how you can turn on the chat window so that we can begin conversing and working with the AI agents. This is the chat window that you're going to be seeing after you toggle that setting on the prior page. It's going to function just like a normal ChatGPT. You type in your prompt and then you hit send. The things that are different here are you can select your model here. In this case, we're going to be using Claude Sonnet. And you can also select the method with which you would like to work with Cursor. In this case, we're going to be using the agents. The agents are going to be the ones that are going to be the most powerful to be able to help integrate the code that is generated here with the code workspace. I have set up a prompt with Cursor to be able to start our learning journey together. I first want to let Cursor know what level of detail it should be providing. So I provided Cursor with the background understanding that I am a Master of Data Science student. This will ensure that it's presenting its findings in a way that would be appropriate for me in my current situation. If you are viewing this as a data science professional, you can provide that type of background to say that you are a senior machine learning engineer, etc., in case you might need a little bit greater detail than someone just barely entering the industry, such as I would like to see. After telling it the basic background of who I am, I let it know what I'm trying to study. In this case, I'm trying to study neural networks, and I'm asking it to help create some supplemental material that is going to be going along with this textbook section that I have been viewing in my class. And I want it to provide me some summaries of the different modules I'd be looking at, code examples, as well as case studies to help me better understand the application of this data. As we are doing this, I'm not providing it any transcripts, so the model is just going to be looking purely inside of its training data to be able to share what it knows with me to give another perspective regarding each of these topics that you're going to see below. So we're going to be seeing 5 different files that get created. These 5 markdown files will have summaries, code examples, and case studies to help further my education with regards to this topic. After I send this prompt through the agent, you're going to see this classic helpful LLM response of course, I'm happy to help you out. The first thing it wants to do that's a little bit different here is you're going to see this terminal prompt here. This prompt wants access to our terminal. So we're going to make sure that we vet it to ensure that this is not going to be accessing anything I do not want it to do. It's making a directory here for Unit 11 neural networks. That's exactly what I want it to do. So we're okay. So I would hit run command to accept the process of it creating this directory so that it can start building these markdown files. Once Cursor finishes creating the directory, it will begin the next step of its goal that we provided it. It will start creating the 5 markdown files. We're going to be seeing information like you would see here on the left-hand side of the screen. Anytime it generates code, it's going to be highlighted yellow like this if it's new code. As new files are being developed, each of them would be highlighted yellow. If it's editing an existing file, you would be seeing a little bit of red that's going to show what it edited, and then a little bit of this yellow color to highlight what is brand new. After it creates each of its changes to these code blocks, we're going to have the option to either accept the changes or reject them. Once Cursor finishes each of these files, you're going to be seeing the changes appear here on the right-hand side of our screen, where you're going to be having the transformation matrix tab, the perceptron tab, and Cursor even went through the trouble of creating a README file that would upload as well. This way, anyone else that is accessing my GitHub page who wants to learn about the neural networks here would also be able to come in and understand what type of textbook they're looking at here, so that it could be useful to others outside of me. After Cursor has finished its task, it's going to provide you a quick summary of what it did. In this case, we see the confirmation here that it created a README file, the 5 modules, and then it's giving us a quick summary of what it put inside of these files. It also is giving us some basic instructions for what it recommends our next course of action should be as we review and study these files. In addition to this, it's also asking, hey, how did I do? Is there anything that I missed? Is there anything you'd like to see more of regarding this content? With regards to this, I wanted to try to get a little bit more information that might be particularly relevant to the AI revelation going on with LLMs in the current day. So I asked if it would create another file regarding this material. And Cursor, being the very happy to help AI agent that it is, went ahead and created that file for me. If there are other topics that one would like to see as they are developing this learning curriculum, this would be the time that you can ask it to modify the curriculum it's put together for you, or add even more material, or add more case studies to be able to better create a curriculum that is tailored to your specific needs. Once we are satisfied with the material, I would recommend pushing it to GitHub. This way you have a backup of your file that includes version control. It is so easy, I can't stress this enough, for those AI agents to go and overwrite something on your file that you might do it on accident. And then if you want to revert to a previous version, you're going to be out of luck if you don't have it saved somewhere that has a prior version of the code. When we upload to GitHub, it's going to send another command through the command terminal. Once again, anytime it's doing this, read the prompt carefully, make sure it's doing what you think it should do, and then you can run the code. And here you can see it ran 2 prompts, and the second one, it's showing the updates to say that it was successful. Here is the finished product. You can see what Cursor has pushed to our GitHub. You can see the README file at the bottom of the screen, as well as each of the modules that it has created. Here's a word of caution. We need to keep in mind that we don't have unlimited resources as we are using Cursor. If you're using a free account, you're going to get 50 of those premium model requests a month. I used 21 of those 50 requests just to create the content that you saw within the scope of this presentation. I know this is getting repetitive, and I'm sure it's a little annoying how I keep stressing that we need to be careful when we're using these command terminal prompts. When we are allowing Cursor's AI agents to access the command terminal, they can access anything on our computer. This is particularly important if we are working with any type of client data or company data that our computer would have access to, because we might inadvertently give access to Cursor's AI agents to this restricted information, which it absolutely should not have access to. We talked a little bit earlier about how powerful version control can be to be able to help maintain our file integrity, especially if we have to go back and revert to a previous version. What I'm showing you here is an example of something you probably shouldn't do, but you can do. I asked Cursor to override the main branch in the GitHub file because I wanted to see if it could do it. And sure enough, it created this prompt through the command terminal, which I ran and tested, that pushed an update into our GitHub, and that we overrode the main branch. After doing this, you're going to lose access to everything that was previously on that main branch, as you're going to see as we look at the commit history in the next slide. We can see the commit history here. As we take a look at the commit history, we can see that the first 2 commits were done through us by Cursor. I did 3 more commits manually just so that we can see what the difference in these 2 commits look like. You can see that we have this grayed out icon. These were the 2 that we did through Cursor. All 5 of these commits were done by my account, but the newest 3 are ones I did manually, just to allow us to be able to see the difference in how these commits look. As you take a look here, you can see that this is all the commits done by any users for all time, and there's only the 5 of them here. There's no other branches. The old branches are gone. All that remains is what we had Cursor update. And this is a pretty good reason to ensure that we are careful with those command prompts. In conclusion, Cursor is an excellent tool to be able to enhance our learning, but we must not forget that we cannot take the work out of this study. It can generate all this code for us, but what's the good if we don't use it? And we also need to remember that these AI agents work for us. We don't work for them. And we also need to remember that we should exercise caution as we are using the command prompts that the agents suggest, because there is no limit to the amount of access and damage that can be caused through improper prompts. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you checking out this presentation. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. Thank you so much.